wasn't going away. You got your shot. Now give me mine.
You're a disgrace to Pauper.
Shut up, old man. You that chump don't know where I had to come from.
Oh, you all have no idea how long I have waited to use that Rocky 3 clip. I think when I first started doing this show, it was one of my first ideas. I just never got around to finding a clip. And then when I did, it was actually very hard to edit that. There's a lot of just back. It's all edit speak. Anyway, hey everybody. Deluxe in the house, Shahrazamon and Little Fighting Snugglesworth too. All right, good to hear from you guys. So this is I'm not gonna exaggerate at all. This is probably not going to do that good today, but I love this deck. And so that being said up front, and Chimsky, what's up? Hopefully you like the little cobbler joke at the top of the show with the one of the only forest walking things we've got. I found some really cool footage of some shoes that were overgrown with like moss, and I was like, oh my god, it's like real life forest walk. So the little spoof just made itself. Anyway, so unless you've been living under a rock, this deck I've probably showcased 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 times. That goes back and forth from being mono green to splashing red for Swirling Sandstorm. All it's trying to do is power out a Crusher, people, and it is all about the speed of doing so. We have 13 basics, one of which is a mountain. The rest of them are all forests. And as we scroll on over here, we see the meat of the deck. A lot of 1-drops. The difference here, we've got the usual suspects in Utopia Sprawl and Wild Growth, but Tinderwall shows up. Really good defense against ninjas and such. We've got Arbor Elf to, power these up early, and then also to act as a lightning rod later for removal. Adventurous Impulse makes a showing here because I really either want to see lands early or I want to find my Crusher. Sometimes it'll be mid-game and I'll play this and I'll see like 2 Wild Growths and a Sprawl. And even then, even though I don't get a card, I'm getting rid of 3 dead draws that would have happened. So far I'm really liking it. I'm rocking 3 Edge of Autumns. Why? It's one of my favorite cards, and but aside from that, sometimes finding Threshold can be really hard against Elves, and so when you have an enchanted land, like maybe it's double enchanted, and you sacrifice this, and you cycle, that's this card going into the graveyard, this, and a land, and you probably have something else, and it usually gets you to Threshold a lot quicker, and it also helps accelerate you early on. We've got the Sakura-Tribe Elders, 3 Mold Shamblers, all 4 Vastwood, same sort of logic. We can cycle them to fill up our yard. Otherwise, great surprise against everything but Delver. Delver can usually counter this. That's why in our sideboard we have 4 Scattershot Archers. So hold on just a minute here. Yeah, so that's one of the things you bring up, Nimchimsky. I completely nixed the Mwonvuli Acid-Moss in the land destruction package. This is mostly to maybe grab a Journey to Nowhere, or if they're hurting on land, yeah, we pick on it. But it really went all in on the I'm just trying to get that Crusher out. Now, if you like this kind of deck and you really want to take it to a tournament, I would try to fit in about 2 Vines of Vastwood to keep this safe. It's just, I've got a few builds with that. You see Big G, Big G2, all these things. 2 Sandstorms, 1 Tusker. Might bring this to 2. Usually 1's enough. Once I hit it, fine. Then I got 4 Pulse of Murasas for that same reason, to keep us in it. 3 Crushers and 3 Empaths act like 6 Crushers, but our hand's not too fat. So anyway, in our sideboard, we got 3 Macabre. We're leaning on this over any sort of relic technology, just because we have Pulse of Murasas and we can get it back in a hurry. 1 Shaman in the Marauder is fetchable for via the Empath and against Affinity. We don't really have any way to counteract Fling other than eating everything it's got and staying alive. Same to be said for this. Sometimes Burn can get a jump on you, and Pulse of Murasas are hiding, so we have 2 of these. 4 Moments Peace and 4 Scattershot. Might seem a bit overkill, but man, early Fae is a problem, and if they're countering this, maybe we can wipe with this, or vice versa. So, oh wait, my bad. I thought you were on a total LD build. Nope. This is never bring the same thing twice. I'm always trying to do a few different things. So I mean, you just look at this, and red deck wins and Elves really weak. It's so weak that I almost, I was considering, I'm gonna go green and I'll just lose those games. And I'm like, me, I can't I got to kind of have an answer for everything. So I squeezed in the 2 Sandstorms main. They used to sit in the sideboard along with the mountain, which made room for like acid mosses and things like that. But for right now, we'll see. I mean, it's one of those, it's just a very fun deck. So if you ever catch yourself in that lull where you're, you know, and it's funny, you think with all this free time we've got, you know, but I'm like a lot of you probably, where you just, oh, I got nothing but time. Don't really feel like playing Magic right now. But yet, if I knew I had to go to work or something, I'd be like, I gotta crush in a league or something real quick. But anyway, so that's what we're playing. But if you, my whole point of what I was going on that little tangent about is if you need something to kind of get back your love or whatnot, not via winning, but just interaction and stuff like that. It's a very fun deck. You can play for hours on end, and much like last week's Blue Blitz. So. All right, here we go. We're going to go first. Our mana's okay. It's a little clunky, actually. It's going to take quite a while to get going, but we can't really say no to land hands with accelerants. So we're going to see how we go here. You bet, little. We'll hit that when we get it. I'm going to lead off with the Wild Growth. The worst thing about this deck is this land. I mean, this white bordered crap here. I'm too cheap to get the shiny version, which I almost hate as much as white borders. I don't like foils, but oh my god, that thing hurts my eyes. Okay, I have said that. Let's put it to bed. This is like the only time you'll ever see me play something white bordered. I have this built in real life. Oh, look, this is so typical of Pauperganda. Hey guys, Elves is our worst matchup. First drop, Elves. Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to need red. I'm going to put a little scare into him. At least we got a blocker. 3, 4, 5. We'll get the Tusker out next. This is just, you know, the more I read about quantum and alternate realities and stuff like that, and then you think of old shows like The Truman Show and stuff, it's stuff like this where I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. I'll need it, Toothmaker. Thank you, my old friend. Cool shot of the picnic the other day. Thanks for sending that to me. Sorry I didn't get back to you. All right, here we go. Toothmaker's been challenging my boy on Arena. I think you beat him. I don't know what that's like. I played him like 3 matches and I got outclassed, but I don't really have any up-to-date cards. But he's been grinding at that pretty regularly. So, but like I said, at the top of the show, this is the worst matchup. So let's see how we do. All right, we'll cycle the Tusker here. Scare him. Best cycler in the game. Yeah. Let's, you know, we're going to get a forest. We've already got our red mana. Hopefully we draw into something delicious. Okay, well, we've got more of the same. You know, we don't have an elf out. So I'm going to just hedge my bets here. I'll go like this. We'll call green. Next turn we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we get a land, we're okay. Now, this is the scenario with Edge of Autumn, which has the ability you can go find a land or you can sacrifice something. So with Edge of Autumn and a forest and this, that's 4 cards where I almost get to threshold like that. And then if we trip the wall, we only need 1 more card to pull off the amazing who plays that main sort of trick. So, maybe they will draw lands. Yes, maybe they. I don't mind the swarms. We don't want to see Timberwatch. And we don't want to see the dude. I just call him the dude, the Vanguard. If you saw the top of the show, I was putting together a Mother's Day piece for my mom, just a little homage to over the years and such. And I found that old picture of me. And I was like, hey, look, everybody, it's me with hair. So that's at the very top of the show. If anybody was like, what the hell is that? All right. Well, let's see. That kind of blows. We've got this and that. I think I might just play this for value. I mean, we could get the, let's see, 3. Unfortunately, we don't really have much of a play here. I'm just going to put this on here. Pass the turn. All right. Actually, I should probably start piling those even more on 1 just because of the, if we do get Edge of Autumn, but we'll be able to at least get out Ulamog's Crusher. It'd be nice to kick the Shambler and turn off any sort of distant melody possibilities, but who am I kidding? We're probably going to lose both of these games against Elves. But hey, we've got the answer in our hand. We just need to get threshold. Soshi. All right. Everybody's chiming in. Hopefully everybody's staying healthy, having fun, remembering what life's all about. That's what brings us to this game, right? Alrighty. My son and I, or sons and me and wife, were all playing spike ball yesterday in the park. Interesting game. Kind of like volleyball and hacky sack at the same time. I guess that's probably the best analogy I can get with it. All right, we'll block here. Always remember, too, this has got a cool little side ability for you non-old schoolers out there. You can sacrifice, pay a red. It does 2 damage to something pretty neat. Very rarely used, but it can happen. All right. Shirazman says, if by healthy you mean constantly drunk or hungover, then yes. I think that's like a lot of them out there. I was listening, been becoming a pretty big fan of the Adam Carolla podcast, and he had a big defense for day drinking during the pandemic. I was cracking up about that. All right, well, let's see. We've got our big hitter. He could probably just block with volume. If they had any sort of accelerant, I think they would have played it by now. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to drop the... let me drop the Crusher next turn. I want to play this just to turn off any sort of distant melody play. We've got 2 blockers. We can trade with something which will help our yard, and then we can start turning things off and go for the Kablamo. Look that up in the dictionary. I'll start at 5 p.m. at the earliest. Aha. Alrighty, here we go. Coffee's good. I'm all clean. Clouds are here, even though it's supposed to be warm today. Love living near the coast. Always feels like winter days. Okay, what do we got here? At least our Mold Shambler did something. Cool. I don't mind these swarms at all. Our Crusher's probably just going to eat it, but if we can time everything really right, we'll be able to play the Crusher and then Sandstorm before the attack, and then it's good game. When this deck does win, it's quickly. It feels completely unfair, and that's the intoxicating feeling that you get when you're brewing with it. Like I showed it to my boy in Pauper, and I had like a turn 3 Crusher, and he was just like, "Dude, that deck's hardcore." And of course, three games in a row after that didn't do so great. All right, come on over, Elfies. Let's go. At least we're turning off about 6 damage here. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, pretty hot over there, eh? All right. Well, let's block here. We'll kill off the TikToker. Boop. Now, do we even live next? I think he just beats us by swarm next turn. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. Yeah, he's got us easy next turn. So even with the answer, we gotta draw a lot, and that's not gonna help us. So if we didn't have the Tusker, we might have been able to cycle into something, but yeah, we're gonna just scoop here and not even show them our way out. But I actually wrote Elves LOL under match 1, like knowing that the universe was going to throw the absolute worst matchup at this list. Okay, Moment's Peace is coming in. Gonna buy us a lot of time. We're obviously gonna take out Claws of Wirewood. No flyers coming in. Sometimes I like to keep 1 or 2 of these in just for the cycling, but we've got enough action going on here. The other big problem with facing Elves is we have Elves, and so it turns on a lot of their pumpers like Timberwatch Elf and stuff like that. So we want to block with these early and often, and go from there. All right. Yep, just gotta go like this and hope for the best. All right. Lots of green. Let's hope it's mean. Kakaprakachev. I have no idea how to say our opponent's name. All right. This feels a lot better, but now we don't have any accelerants. We'll keep this. Got a little snake dude. Love this guy. That's a lot of card. All right. Off we go with the elf. Woohoo! If we get an enchantment followed by a Crusher, we're in good business, but until then, all we can lean on for red is our Tinderwall at the moment. I'm going to keep that safe from harm. Always keep in mind, too, if you're piloting something like this, Tinderwall adds to threshold before you can pay for stuff. So a lot of times you catch yourself almost doing the math wrong. Just remember, got the D&D fin-horned elves coming out. Artwork I could even draw. Alrighty. A little fight making everybody cap up. The old school. Love it. All right. We're just going to accelerate like crazy here. I'm going to bring this hip. Bring out this dude. We'll save Tinderwall Man for later. Yeah, you know what? I actually think the promo Sakura-Tribe is pretty cool. I don't dislike it, but I vastly like this one. This dude looks like he's lived. He's got some stories to tell you by that campfire. I think in one of those commercials we did, what was that? The Golgari's Southern Grill restaurant commercial that we did. I should have had that queued up, darn it. I don't. But anyway, if you remember in the corner, he pops up and he goes, "I sacrificed for this?" Pretty bad dad joke as MTG jokes go, but hey, I thought it was clever. Of course I did. I wrote it. All right. Come on, come on. I met some friends from Brazil last night online. How was it? Interesting going. Okay. All right. I'm chatting too much and I forgot to trip him. That's all right. We'll do it next turn. Let's get out a big fatty. Boop. We will play. Actually, if I do that, yeah, let's get out the fat. We're getting close to crush time. I was going to get the Tusker. I don't think we'll need it, though. We've got, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. With any luck, we'll be able to power out an honest crusher. What do I mean by honest? Well, it doesn't need any cheating help. Yeah, I want to use the ability. Do you want to use this ability? It's like with the Delver. It's like, no, I think I'll just chill here and not do anything ever. I'll just let these cards die, which is exactly what I did with the Tribe Elder. All right. I'm going to initiate an attack, and then I'll sack. I know, that's why I'm trying to kind of instigate a trade here, but they're not falling for it. So I'm just going to do this during my turn. My son hates when I do that. To that I say, get out of my way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 1 away from Crusher. Yeah, Snogglesworth, that's totally true. Like this little condescending AI. It's like, hey. You know what does that too is when you, I'm currently, obviously, like most people, looking for a job, and a lot of these job bots and stuff like that, it'll be a, first of all, it's a no reply email. So it's like, okay, what's the point of that? And then it says, have you heard back from, Sony Pictures or whatever? And it's like, thanks. You're just rubbing it in that I didn't get the job. It's like you click on the email and it's like, please don't reply. And it's like, so it's just reminding me that of failure. It's just like, God, what a cruel world. So yeah, it's a lot. It's like when they ask you for 3 mana for Mana Leak when you don't have it. That's kind of falls in that same umbrella for me. But yeah, you're pointing out the exact reason why this is even deader against Elves, because we're helping them out. We've got 3 on our side. Can't block with that empath fast enough. We've got 7 mana available. Edge of Autumn in hand. I sure hope we draw decently. I'm going to get Crusher online. If that Timberwatch shows up, Crusher's obviously not that good against Elves. They can get rid of a lot of tokens and then boom, they kind of trade you for it. Hey, Hex and Rouge in the house. Good to see you. Do you want to block with your empty board? Yeah, that's next, right? Then it'll just start getting condescending. It's like, have you brushed your teeth today? It's like, wait a minute, how'd that even happen? My mom is notorious. Speaking of Mother's Day tomorrow here in the States, I don't know if that's a worldwide thing or not, but here in the States we celebrate Mother's Day tomorrow, and my mom is just infamous for kind cutlows. She doesn't mean to be ill-intended or anything, but man, she's got some biting underhand compliments. One of my buddies growing up, she'd always be like, you look really pale today. You feeling okay? And he's like, nope, that's just how I look. Thanks a lot. That's stuff like that. It's pretty great. Yeah, that's the thing, Dreamer Stango. I'm here to showcase what it's like with, and then we might play one without. We'll see. We got a 5/5 that we'll be able to block here. Come on, land. And it's not a land, but we got another elf. Isn't that helpful? All right, so we're just going to play the Edge of Autumn. And if we don't get something here good here, we're in deep trouble. Okay, we've got Moment's Peace. We won't even need it next turn, so I'm just going to keep trying to accelerate here. I'm going to anticipate that our Crusher is going to die, probably just to a Vanguard, since we've already got one in hand. I'm tempted. This is tough because we haven't seen Pulse of Murasa yet here. I'm tempted to grab the Tusker for cycling, but I'm going to grab another Crusher. We're going to leave that dude back to block. We got 2 Elves to block with. We don't care about. And next turn, we'll try to do something. Yeah, at least the AI could do that. Avoid me from making bad plays. It's like, hey, hold on a minute. Didn't you mean to trip that at the end of turn? It'd be kind of lame if AI got to that point, though, because then it would just be like, well, who can top deck best? And it just devolves into a game of flipping a coin, right? Now, if I could hack at all, I would hack MTGO to like badmouth people for playing white bordered stuff. Be like, oh, really reaching for the bottom, aren't you? Just little comments like that, and people be like, what? We don't like anything this deck does across from us. It gains too much life. Its creatures get too big. Look at this. We got a 10/10 staring us down. That's fun. I'm actually glad our opponent didn't quit just out of like, this is just too easy of a matchup. And that's also, I think I go back and forth. That's whoever asked that, I apologize. I'll go all in and try to make this work. Sometimes it does. Often it doesn't against swarmy decks. And I'm just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to be really good at plan A. And if, we're just going to lose to that. And then I revisit it, 3-4 months later, and I'm like, hey, what if I did this? I remember I did that. And then I go look at the notes and I'm like, I think I could do it better this time. And I try it, and here we are. The insult to injury, I think they make more mana than you. Oh, man. You're right. Yep, they do everything better. It's like, why not just play Elves? Drop a Crusher. A lot of lists do have the Crusher as their little plan B, especially with Prismatic Strands rolling around and such. It's one bad thing about Stonehorn Dignitary, though. It doesn't even let Ulamog turn sideways. What I do like, people fog, or I'll fog offensively a lot of times. Like, what does that mean? Well, I'll come over with the Crusher. If you've got an advantageous board state, Annihilator triggers, you sacrifice 2 things, and then you think what's a good block is going to get rid of my Crusher, and then I fog on offense, and then next turn you got to sack 2 more things, and I replay the fog. So it's a lot of fun with it. This isn't one of them. God, I just see, and it's matches like this where they're just going all in, and I mean, we're going to have a Vanguard to deal with. We're going to have to chump block that indefinitely for the rest of the game, but it'd be so neat to have last game's hand at about this stage, but hope the deck crushes. This is the wrong round, boy. At the top of the show, Sneak Fast, I said, well, we don't want to see his Elves. Round 1, Elves. There we go. Come on, I got a show to do. Let's get this beating over with. I want to cast a Crusher, and then we'll submit. What do we got? We've only got 1 Vanguard out, right? He's playing like he's got... Oh, there's the second one. All right. Oh, here we go. Welcome back. Indeed. Too much clicking. Got this cool hemp lotion. I'm always thinking of it because whenever I've got back into the original Diablo, and I've been clicking way too much. I haven't been playing about the same amount of Magic, but mid-morning I'll be like, you know what, I'll try to get level blankety blank done and find some new rare. I just love the original Diablo for how dark it is. Just gritty, music's cool, everything's cool. I hate how slow it is. The guy cannot run to save his life. I guess he's carrying a lot of stuff in their inventory. You could argue that. But you're walking around town and you just have to walk. Oh, yeah. What was that, 2000? Was that 2010 or year 2000 movie, Nim Chimpsky? That monotone flat. All right. We all know what Elves does. I think it's about time to scoop here and just go to... I just don't want to sit here for 5 minutes and watch this guy build up Elves. We're going to play an Ulamog's Crusher. We've got Peace. It's going to be a half hour from now. And with those kind of Gigantors out, we're going to be in bad shape. So LL, told you that would happen against Elves. So in my notes, I'm going to actually... I do have a new Word document where I'm showcasing like when I leave a deck alone and why. And so I'm going to just make a little note to myself here. That being said, we'll try to, oh, come on, dude. This guy's like, is this another deck? I've already played this. If we see an elf, I can't really chat here, so, you know what? Let me, I would just want a different matchup here. It's a pretty good hand, but let's, we're getting a little fight. If you want to challenge now, it'll probably be a good time. People don't get the clue sometimes. You walk away and then keep coming back. I had the most frustrating time on the Pauper Classic Tuesday. Thanks for being so quick on that, buddy. And I would say right on the description it said, you know, tournament round blankety blank. I probably had who was there? Thy Shuffler, I think, was there chiming in. He was just like, dude, that must get irritating. And it was so bad. It was like every 20 seconds somebody would jump in. I'm like, read. Yeah, I want to play first. Alrighty, we'll keep this. See how we do. Yeah, Diablo 2 is a lot of fun. I hated 3. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful game, everything, and I think I haven't ranted about this in a long enough time. It'll probably sound new, but when every single item and spell is uber special and glows and does all these things, it just gets a little old for me. It should be a rare thing. Only wizards should have cool spells like that. Any order? So the old one is just so gritty and dark, and you actually are kind of scared, and stuff is so buried in shadows, and you're like, oh crap, you're inching forward just to try to not trip any triggers and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Plus, Blizzard made it available for like a $10 download was it like a year ago? Because, you know, the render card and everything else online was completely different. I'm going to lead off with a Tinnerwall in case he's got any sort of sacrifice sort of thing, and then we'll do this next turn. We'll still get 4 mana out of it. It's a pretty good purchase, though. I like it. Ooh, the Prowler. The Prowler is taking out the elf. Yikes. We're up against it, folks. I do, too, Dreamer Stango. Even when I'm not going up against flying decks, just cycle. And it does do damage, so that's pretty cool. We got 5 mana. Can I get 3? Can I get a 4? We're going to say red, because we do have main deck, you know, what's a muzz. And because we have elves and a lot of 1-drops, I'm going to cycle our turn. See what we can see. There it is. Hey, look at that. Almost looks like I know what I'm doing. We're going to Adventurous Impulse. Ooh, we got nothing to choose but Shamblers. There we go. Any order. I love me Shamblers. It's one of my favorite cards. And we could trip it. That'd be pretty greedy, though. Now, be tempted to if he misses a land drop here. Yeah, Diablo 2, I really dug that game, too. Just the vastness of it was so... God, the game was immense. All right, 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, man, I so want to just blast that. Who wants to blast? Who wants to be strategic? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll let him go. Be nice to Litify. All right, well... all right. I want to kick it, and I want to just play one just to have some beater. Do it, says Snugglesworth. In caps. A card you don't see many people playing, but it's a pretty good little card. Except it's till the end of turn. The problem is you got that zombie, and then you've got Fume Spitter, which both do things better, but they have to die. That one doesn't have to die. What has he got? Disfigure here? He's such a fan of ninjas, I'm going to block this. We'll see what's up. Let a fight in his trademark keeping of 1 land hands. Oh, man. All right. Well, maybe we'll make him pay now. If we draw anything, 2, 4, 6, 7. Hup! Down goes that. All right. Well, crap. It's like the worst thing we could have drawn. We'll cast it. We'll make sure that we hit our land drop. I wish that came into play the other way, but oh well. Well, so far he's got a new Dimir Ninja deck, but he also needs mana. Let's see if he can get it. Aha! Well, now we're really going to pick on his land, aren't we? We've already seen he needs blue. And I know that he has quite a few of the bounce ninjas, the Mistblade Shinobi. I'm going to bring out this guy, and then I'll bring out Crusher. Booyah. Return that to my hand. Yeah, there's another card. Gosh, what is it called? Sigil of Sleep. I've always wanted to make that work too, but we could have powered out Crusher there. I know he's got quite a few little free tricks in the deck, and I didn't want to have that bounce back to my hand, so I just wanted to shut off all the options there. I think we're just going to keep things as is. What am I trying to say? We've seen some flyers, but this is the kind of stuff that we want to be doing. I don't think he has that much counter magic, so we're just going to keep it like this. Yeah, let's go. Mistblade Shinobi. Yeah, at the top of the show, I did that little Mr. T moment, and my youngest and I have always laughed because who doesn't love Mr. T? But we've always been like, what does he say there? Sounds like you don't know the Trump that I had to come from. It sounds like he says that, but I don't know if he says like the slum or something like that because he's just all gritty and the bad guy. All right, we have acceleration. We've got draw. It's kind of a clunky hand. I'll see what we draw. Maybe we can double cycle with this and this alone. We'll see what happens there. All right, here we go. That feels good. Let's do this for now. We've got the anti-flying tech in our hand. So yeah, we're going to... it's actually pretty cool that we ran into Elves and showcased it. It was like, hey, look, we're front-loaded against Elves, our worst-case scenario matchup, and it's still either we had it and just didn't make sense to play it, or we didn't have enough time to play it, or their creatures just got too big. And so I got to put a big Vanguard note there. Is the eventual issue. All right, what do we got here? Man. All right, let's cycle this. Give us a 1-drop. Nope. All right. That's kind of weird. I could Edge of Autumn and then Murasa. That'd be pretty funny. Buff of Paradise. A Burt of Paradise. Sorry. Dark writings, I tell you. Okay, a ninja's headed our way. Let's see what kind of ninja it is. It'll probably be the 3/2 that makes the 1/1s, if I remember right. Which last time I played this against a little fight, I think I had 2 or 3 pretty good size helpings of vodka in my system. So a little foggy on the memory there. Ninja showing up. All right. Keeping things strange. Here we are. Strange thing, I'm usually not that big of a fan of vodka, but for some reason I really like Tito's, but almost nothing else. That'd be cool to get a sponsorship. That would be dangerous. It's like, here's your monthly supply. I'd be like, oh crap. All right. Well, we've got a blocker. We've got accelerants. We're doing all right. We're going to bring this dude out. Yeah. Oh, there's another condescending move, right? Got 2 mana floating. Okay, let's play this guy. You want to play him? Say, yeah. Let's just cast this now. Build up our turn while we can. Let's get this out just to put the fear of something in him. We will block with the Elder. We'll sack it. And then we'll have 2, 4, 6 mana. Bring out a Shambler. Shut off his black. Maybe not. At least we'll have a permanent blocker for the ninja that doesn't have to sacrifice to himself. But ran into a very cool deck yesterday too. Apologies to the brewer. It's nothing new. I've seen it a dozen times. I've got a few builds too, but it just seemed to work good. It was a Simic Infect with the Adventurer's gear, you know, where you trip a land and it had, you know, it would go get a crop rotation and go get a wilds, and all of a sudden, you know, it could pump something up for 6 at instant speed, uncounterable with, you know, land, and equipping for 1 only costs 1. Pretty neat idea. He or she was running about 2 or 3 trinket mages main too, kind of like the Simic package that we discussed last week. It's pretty interesting. It's always one of those things, like I always say, like Vegas is, right? The machines make noise. You're like, oh, wow, energy. Everybody's winning. And it's like, imagine if Vegas made a noise for every time somebody lost money. People would sue by the trillions because they're all going deaf from just this sonic boom emanating from the city. That would be pretty grim. All right. If I remember right, he runs Mana Leak. Well, maybe we should have him prove it. 2, 4, 6. Let's bring this out. See if we get Mana Leaked. That's the one. Thank you, Nimchimsky. Appreciate that. The Fungus Beast. Ugh. Hey, isn't that the card I'm sitting inside, except I took the M off of it? I'm the Mold Shambler. Wah, wah, wah. Let's just do that. Use your removal now, sucker. What you got? All right. I've been still just playing a ton of Blue Blitz. I've got made just a few tweaks from the last show. Remember, outside of a punt, the deck doesn't lose very much. It shouldn't be that big of a surprise. It's blue. But it has a very good game against just traditional blue and Dimir. So far, it's just that unblockability and putting cloud on stuff. Just people can't deal. All right, so now our claws are going to show some really fun times. We're going to get a 2.5 for 1. Depends what's on in his hand, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Get another land. It's always that turn where you're like, darn it, I've got so many toys and only so many turns to do stuff with them. Oftentimes, I think the best play is to drop something like a Crusher and then wipe the board and then annihilate. And then it's like, scoop. We're going to go back in time with our Experiment 1. The, what's that English show that we Look Around You. Yeah, we got one of the oldest bathroom break commercials that we used to run to. I dug it up, dusted it off. All right, we've got the goods, folks. Now, I know he has Mistblade in hand. Almost often, always does. So I'm just going to clear the board here. Wait. Cast, not cycle. God, that would suck. Remember what I was saying about AI? I'm glad it doesn't listen to me now. All right, we're just going to do this for value here. We're going to get the Elder back, and we'll attack. He's probably going to try to empty the board next turn, and then we'll just swing in with the Crusher. Are you sure you want to cycle here? I know. I was just badmouthing, like, hey, why don't you just do it? And it's like, oh, wow. Whew. That might have just saved me there. That would have sucked. It's like, here's another forest. Thanks for playing. All right. Well, somebody's got some counter magic. You really think I'm going to walk into a Fae here? Come on now. All right. Well, let's attack. It's one thing I really love about the suspend mechanic and what we showcased last week, especially with, like, Looter Elcor or the Errant Ephemeron or whatever, is when you go up against Dimir or like these really heavy counter decks and they're like, okay, it's turn 2. I'm ready. I got my, you suspended. I guess I just wasted a turn. And then when they're like, okay, here it comes, it's coming. Then you've got all your mana ready and it's a fight and you usually win it. That really seems to be the big sticking point. I just don't think people are used to playing around suspend. Diabolic Edict. Okay. We like that. We could get it back. We could blow stuff up. But we've got an opportunity here, especially since none of the ninjas have haste, unless he's running like a Vapor Snag, Unsummon. Okay, we'll see. A hasty ninja would suck, but I don't think there is such a thing. Oh! I love Egypt and all, but man, those are ugly. I was playing sealed and certain I was going to lose to about 2 turns. The guy conceded because he didn't read my cards correctly and thought I was going to win. Yeah, been there plenty. When money's on the line, I'll always make people play it out or whatever because, like you said, there'll be times they'll cycle away their win condition. Depends on the format or whatnot. There can be some pretty fun times. All right, we're going to get back. Big Bully. We're going to drop this. It was fun dropping in on the Brazilian feed yesterday. We were hosting it on Twitch, and Lendoso, I think, is one of the players I bumped into quite often. Saw them on there and stuff, and it was just, you know, wall of language, and you all know how dense I am when it comes to lingo. And I was like, all right, you know, I'm doodling in the background, watching the game here and there, and then blah blah blah. Deluxikov. I'm like, huh? What? It's just like waking somebody up out of a coma, and then or they mention Pauperganda. I'm like, it's weird. Like when you hear any language, and you know, then they say like a very clear word in your language, you're like, oh, just kind of brings you out of a haze. I always wondered what people think when they don't have language. Like, I always thought like maybe babies know everything, and then they just, once language sort of puts them in like a prison, they have to think only in this on this road, whereas, you know, maybe they knew everything. Oh, there it is. See, I just see that it's exactly what I'm talking about, Nimchimsky. I'm just like, I guess so. All right. We've got mana for days. Now, this is the exact scenario. We just stripped out 2 more lands. We've almost got all our lands in play. And what do you think we're going to draw? Oh, I was wrong. I was bad-mouthing the universe, and it showed me kindness. All right. I really hate this because Mana Leak gets us here. And we don't have enough to really do a double play with Murasa. We get edicted again. Edicted? Is that a word? We fall victim to an edict. Let's try to put a little IQ on these syllables, huh? All right. Yeah, you got to tell Nims to join us again, man. Miss the little guy. Every time I lose, I'm like, it's because Nims wasn't there. All right. Mistblade Shinobi countdown in 3, 2, 1. Is this it? This is when you want vines, by the way. Protect your elves early. Protect your crushers late. What am I thinking? I should be playing with that. Hey, it's the one that I don't really mind all that much. Okay. He's got a token to lose every turn. Keep your eye out on this card. I think as the years go by, there'll be some really good decks with this. This is a pretty good deck too. I think there's a mono blue version that's pretty awesome, but oh, Bone Splinters with the free mana token. Nice tech, my friend. And the new art. Vastly outnumbered. The Zendikari. Zendikari? Found creative ways to even the odds. I never heard of the Zendikari. I know Zendikar. I don't think I've ever seen that written down. Well, it has flying, so yet another reason we're not liking seeing this now. Let's get this here. I mean, we could not do much of anything except get our big dude back and stay alive for a long time. Is that from WikiBear? I read a speculation the other day, says Dreamer Stingo, that newborns considered a part of their own body until the first time it was taken away. Interesting. Mutual destruction. All right. Yeah, Spark Harvest, interesting. All right. Come on, another Claws of Wirewood. How cool would that be right about now? Yeah, I can. It's definitely. Whoops, sorry for the helicopter. That's new. There's some... we got all our windows open, so apologies for the ornithopters above. We've got a beach really close to us where they're housing a lot of COVID crisis issues. Little tent cities and such. All right. You know what? Let's make him think we got something even though he knows the deck list. We'll bring this out, see if it lives. That's right. You know what? That was a huge misplay because we've already seen edicts and then I do it in this order. It's like, hey, how not to play Magic. Check this out. Damn, they're circling. They must not like this tech. All right, we don't mind that so much. Oh, we just got panoramic windows and they're all open because it gets pretty warm in the daytime. And my kids got they're like me. They like to sleep when it's very cold. So I usually have all the windows open and the fans on and everything. So my poor wife, she's quite the opposite. Sorry about this, guys. You know, it's fitting. We've got all these flyers coming up and we're getting attacked. It's just this new sound effect I was working on. Wink, wink. Yeah, I've been working on this all week. See? Cool sound effects to encapsulate the show's theme. And down comes some more ninjas. We don't want to see a misplay. No misplay. And he's making another lap. Here comes another ninja. Where the Moonblade should I be? We've got chopper sound effects for the illusions. Maybe that's what these wings would sound like. Alright. Yeah, these are not the droids you're looking for. This is not the dismal backwater deck I was looking for. Oh! Down we go. The volume is getting to us. Can't compete. Must fall back. Too much damage. Ah. Now, if we get a Claws of Wirewood, we can wipe the board here. It'll be a pretty expensive wipe. Hey, there he is again. See if we can get this online. Why not? Come on now. Hiya! Ulamog's Crusher. Kill that Thopter token. There's thousands of them. They're biting me. You know, Da Vinci's been gone long enough. They should bring back that Amy Weber artwork from Antiquities. Oh boy, he's got our number now. And put a Da Vinci quote on there to boot. It's such a clear, just rip in a good way. Just pay homage to the true master. All right, you got us this game, buddy. Let's go to game 3. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm going to get rid of these. We'll bring in these, all of them too. I'm going to lose the mountain. We'll lose one edge. And we're going to rock like this. We're going to go purist, baby. Woo! I'm still convinced it isn't trying to land on your roof. Snuggles were. It must be pretty loud. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's very strange that they're live in a very, very nice neighborhood too. We don't ever have any of those crime choppers here, so. But it's first time for everything, I guess. What really sucks is we live close enough to LAX that there's every once in a while presidential visits, and if you have anywhere to go that day, it sucks. We'll keep this. We've got pretty good acceleration going on here. Stuff. All right, let's bring this out. Let's say green. This is a first, though. 3-4 years of doing this. We've never had we've had 1 or 2 passes of a helicopter, but we've never been circled for 5 minutes. I don't like 1-for-1 on flying removal. I gotta get sweepage. Alright. Not much of a ground crew yet. I can play Tinderwall in response, something we don't really need that. So I'm gonna drop here. We'll get our dude out. And we'll go for broke. After this, cycling the Tusker, probably getting it back, staying alive with Pulse of Murasa, turning some stuff on. High toughness indeed. Man, this is just crazy. And have to close the windows after the break if this guy's still circling. This is ridiculous. I'm trying to envision what he's doing. Some bank robbery or something? It's weird. Alright, so we'll just play this next turn. We have an indefinite blocker. That's fine. I'm just going to trip this now. Hey there, been a long time. JSEG 1980 in the house. Alright. Good to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Finishing up game 2 here. About to go on our first little commercial make-believe break, and we'll be back. But currently we have ornithopters circling overhead in real life. But I think they finally got answered. Alright, let's bring out the tinder wall for our good blocker. Let's cycle our dude. Go get some food. Whoop. Yeah, let's do this. Boink. We'll drop here. We'll draw a card. Man, that cycle's so good. Did we play land? We did not. We will untap this. Untap this and this. And I think... yeah, go get some more mana. Get the cycler again. Turn on our yard. People still playing blue. What a surprise. Yeah, where you been, JSEG? Been forever and a day. What, about a year and a half probably? I'm just guessing. Good to see you all. You caught us on a very roguey day. Shouldn't be too big of a surprise, but we're last 2 weeks I think we've had some pretty mean and serious decks that I wouldn't mind taking to a challenge, but this isn't one of them. Uh-oh, here comes the flyer. Smoke Shroud. That card always gets bad mouth, but every time I play it, I like seeing it, and it wins me like stuff like this. You're locked out. It's like, nope, we're still going to turn it on. We're going to draw more stuff. I played it in Blue Robots for a while, and remember some grinders were like, yeah, you ought to lose that and do this. And I tried it, and I was like, man, it's not winning as much. All for new ideas, but sometimes they're just trying to shove you back into the box of just played over. And it's like, well, if I wanted to do that, I would just do it. All right, let's turn off Monsieur Black Mana. Hiya! Worst play you could probably do here, kill the Shroud, just like Rancor. It's like, oh, wonder where that goes. It goes back. All right, and we've got enough to do some stuff here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to trip this. I'm going to play this, and then we're going to cycle this. Now we get Threshold when we take it out and we don't really need it, right? All right. Here we go. And nothing to float. Here we go. All right. Well, at least we've mustered up some offense here. Snarglesworth, you betcha. Just be ready and don't be biased. Don't play elves, in other words. Anything else? Can't block the ninja. I wish they would come out with new artwork for the ninja. Nothing against it. I mean, it's a little freshman in the perspective department, but it's such an iconic Pauper card. I mean, they did it for Mold Drifter. I wish they would make it a lot darker. Look at how much light there is here. It's like, come on. Anybody's seen an 80s movie, you know they're hanging out in the shadows and doing all kinds of sneaky stuff. I haven't had a chance to play Pauper in quite a while since JSEG 1980. I have been playing Hearthstone for 3 years. Oh, man. Yeah. That seems to have really quieted down. I remember when the first year or two that was out, it was like, whoa, big threat to MTG. And then it just, I don't know what happened. Did they make a really bad set or something? Because it just, on my end of it, it just seemed like it, I know it's still there, but it just kind of died off. Same thing kind of happened when Arena showed up. It was like everybody seemed like they ran away from MTGO, and now it's like you go to Twitch and it's like, it's not 50-50, but it's way closer than it used to be. All right. Well, we might just draw the Crusher here, so we're going to go on an Adventurous Impulse here. And I don't really care about a Tinder Wall. I'll just grab another land here, go like this, play this. Did we play a land this turn? Oh. I don't like Arena at all. I don't either. Feels like an old man thing because I'm just like, get off my lawn. But, oh my gosh, it's just so cartoony and loud. Visually, too, where you're just like, Jesus. It's like, I came here to relax, play a game, have a glass of wine, whatnot. It's like, can't abide. Did I screw that up? I think I did. It's something called maths. That's 5, 6, 7. You idiot. Don't come here for logic, folks. All right. I'll just attack. How did I miscount that? 2. I probably... Oh, no. 2, 4. Yeah, I had it. I just forgot to use the thing. I'm talking too much. So what Toba says, back before I had any expansion, I was playing HS and thinking, it's not great. But they add another set or two, I'm sure it will be. And then every set that came was worse from there. Oh, interesting. Again, Jenny, deck building and the like so much better on Arena, though. I just like how clean MTGO has become. In the old days, you know, it seemed like every update had more bugs than helped. There's a few hiccups now ever since the new sound effects showed up. There seems to be a little bit of delay on stuff. But aside from the Pauper Classic Tuesdays and huge chat rooms sometimes crashing something, it's pretty robust. And I just leave it alone. I can play it on mute. It's more, I guess the word I'm looking for is elegant. It's kind of like watching like Citizen Kane and then like some cool classic movie and you're like, yeah, I can get into that. And then you're like, oh, now it's available in 3D. And you're like, yeah, but it shouldn't be. Good PR move. Wow, he just... Oh, no, he didn't see a crusher. He saw us almost play one. But I've had way too much coffee. I'm twisting and turning because this bathroom break can't come soon enough. Casablanca, now in color. Yeah, most of those old movies don't hold up at all. You're watching me like, ugh. Remember... My major, I had to study a lot of films, and very few of them, you know, you hear about how awesome they are, and you're like, really? That was it? Even given the times? On the Waterfront, I think, was about the only one that really was like, whoa, that's legit. All right, let me play the Crusher, starring Vin Diesel. That's awesome. Let's see if we can get some creatures and such. I'm going to eat a Spellstutter Sprite here. Boink! There she blows. All right. Let's attack. Hiya! Can't do nothing else. Man, where are our Vastwood and such? Vastwood and Company. Come on. Hey, that's a good commercial idea. Cool. We're trading fairies for junk. Where'd the helicopters go? I mean the ornithopters. That's what I mean. Yeah. I finished, if anybody likes Avatar The Last Airbender, the second version of that had a very cool character named Amon. He was like probably good enough to carry an entire couple of seasons, but he was only in the first season, and I made the mask of that and finished painting it, and it's like glaring at me in the corner now. I like checking it out. It's pretty cool. Too many masks, I tell you. I had a 80-room house. I could probably put one in each room. Alrighty. This is game 3. And here we go. I'm going to hold that for, this is be kind of a race here. I wish I could trip that wall and kill something, but we're not going to be able to get a chance to. Well, just a minute. I can't wait on the restroom anymore. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sorry about that all. I can concentrate. Woo-hoo. Here we go. I didn't want to squirm and have some attack out of sheer bladder pressure move. I'm back and better than ever. White Infect, it's been quite a while. Maybe next week, we'll see. There's that new Stand Firm, I think the Vigilance one. And you could argue, you know, we've got that one for Priest of Norn, I think it's called. That's optimal, right? But in the little bit of I've practiced it, it just isn't quite worth just the firepower that it can normally just consistently have over a little trick like that. Have a Pilgrim build that goes and looks for it. Avoids edicts and such, but that's another deck. I really think if enough people focused on it, or if it, you know, if I get back into playing tournaments 5-0 with it or something, somebody will be like, hey, and then it might get improved on by other minds other than mine. But talk about those hallways you can get kind of locked into mentally. You know, sometimes you can fall victim to your own thinking that way. So yeah, Sentinel's Eyes, very good card. That one I knew would be something. That's legit. All right. And Smoke Shroud says when it enters the battlefield. Ah, dang it. Man. Note to self, I should probably call red on this next sprawl, because then I could kill the ninja. But we're only taking one. It's good times. UFC's back tonight. That'll be interesting. I think we're going to get the fight. It's a pretty penny, but we get some sort of a discount. Being in the industry and all, I think. Let's kick this. The old Shambler. Ha! Let's get rid of the ability to kill our stuff. I'm not liking that in the least. We'll do this and completely show our hand. Red. All right. Yeah, I've seen Grangeland work one time. It was, I think it was a soldier shell with Skyfisher and such. Yeah, those counters are great when they go down. Another Smoke Shroud. All right, the clock is real, folks. It's 9-9. They got the jump on us. Who's going to get it? They're coming around the last turn. Oh, and it's Ninja for 4. It's another good ESPN has, if you're a basketball fan or NBA fan, and especially when I became a fan is when Michael Jordan became like Michael Jordan. So that new, I think it's called The Last Dance. It's a 10-part. They do it in twos. It's 2 hours each, so it's episode 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. They're on, I think, 7 and 8 this week. That's really riveting stuff. I really enjoy it. All right, we're just going to attack here. Dinner while doing absolutely nothing. Which show is that, Nimchimsky? Okay, oh no. Yeah, we're dead here. This needs... So we lose. All right, good game, little fight. Gonna roll the commercial, guys. Be right back. Whoop, whoop.
Experiment 1. An experiment was carried out to demonstrate the effects of boiling water upon proteins. A quantity of water is heated over a Bunsen until it reaches its boiling point of 1000 degrees. Now we take our sample of protein. For the purposes of this experiment, we're using an egg. Next, the egg is placed carefully into the beaker. Let's see what happens to the egg after it's been in the boiling water for 1 minute. The scientist removes the egg and examines its interior consistency. From the state of the albumin, we can see that the protein has hardly reacted to the intense heat of the water. Let's try another egg, this time for 2 minutes. make sure you look out for the release of the new albumin. It's out now. The protein is beginning to react. We try a further egg, this time for 3 minutes. Now let's take a look inside the third egg. The heat of the water has caused the molecular structure of the glutinous protein to coagulate. In other words, not too runny, not too hard. A perfect eggie. Salt is added to taste, and breakfast is served. Le petit déjeuner est prêt. Write that down in your copybook now.
Nice tongue.
Rock Tongue Body Spray. Reach for it.
Available at all fine skincare superstores.
And we're back. All right. Oh, Snugglesworth is ready. Okay, I'm going to give this one more try. If it crashes and burns again, we're going to redesign it live, or we'll go with one of my other builds and see what goes down. But so far, not so good. I think diluting a strategy can come with some big drawbacks, as we're seeing here. Okay, the conundrum exists. We've got two. This is almost like a mulligan here, because these are all kind of doing the same thing. We do have an early start, and we're on the draw. I will keep it right on the border. It's fitting too. JSEG 1980. I think the last time I played that was probably when you watched. I was just talking about what an old school commercial that was, and you're probably like, oh man, he's still running this. Change of plans. Let's drop the growth. Drop the growth. Nothing beats crack the clue. It just sounds like it belongs in a song. Crack the clue. Crack the clue. You gotta crack the clue. Something, it's up to you. You gotta crack the clue. All right, what do we got here? Some zombie shenanigans. Now we might be very happy that we have main deck board wiping abilities. Like this. Sound effects included. Bolt the bird. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, it's alliteration for you. Always. I think a lot of these shows coming out on Netflix or even daytime, it's like, oh, if it has a rhyming title for some reason, or people just accept it, and it's like, good enough. Oh man, well, you got to start your own there, JSEG. There's a group I got to meet up in Wilmington. Or wasn't it? I think they're from Wilmington, Seattle area, but they guy had a really cool idea. Ryan something, I forget his last name. Apologies, but he pretty much left his decks free for the public to encourage Pauper play in their local area, and just a few weeks or months they started getting a pretty regular scene, and then people start buying in and want their own things, and you've got these little community decks. You can just show up and play some tier 1 stuff whenever you want, and a little check-in check-out sort of thing. So very cool thing. Maybe look into that. It's pretty awesome. Alrighty, well, we've got some options here, folks. First of all, I'm going to lead off with the Snake Man. Oh, I see. Oh, very cool. You know what? Let's see. I'll play this. I'll try to stay alive. That's a bummer. Yeah, you'd like to think things go on without you, but sometimes people can be the lifeblood of a scene in their area or whatnot, and frustrating. Manifest. Here we go. Oh, wow. Killer. Yeah, I feel so bad for so many businesses, especially like mom and pop magic shops out there. I know the place out in, darn it, forgetting their name. They're in the Michigan area. They're always giving us awesome codes for MTG. So sorry, I can't quite remember the name. What is that? Sacrifice. Let's go. Let's get some goods here. Zombie time. Something gets over a 5/5. I've got problems with it. There's really no way to deal with it other than chump blocking, which we saw with the Vanguard scenario. The Elvish Vanguard prior. There's a land. 2, 4, 6, 7. Good to go on that. Let's play this. Hopefully we just grab a land. Yeah, I'll take the land. Any order. We'll play this. Oh, we already did. All right. You know what? Let's leave the threat open of killing something with the Tinder Wall, even though we all know I'm not going to do it, because we've got the real threat in hand. Yes. Got 2 crushers. I'm going to go grab the Tusker. Here we go. The threat of the tripped wall is one thing. We're just going to repetitively block the feeder with little dorks like Empath, turning on our threshold. Hopefully we can find something of relevance. I don't think there's anything worth killing on our side of the board right now. I think we're just going to trade here. When this dies, manifest. All right. Let me do this, and we'll go like this. Yeah, kudos for trying. For sure. Yeah, that was some cool tech with all those little extra tokens you got laying around. Ghoul Razor showing up. All right, well, we get our dude here pretty soon. We're going to have a nice board wipe to show off, but it all depends. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to go for it. Let's see if he's got any sort of sweet tricks. Just a dead duck if he does, or she does. Yeah, 2. It's funny how full circle you come. You know, you leave a deck alone, you think you know better, and I'm coming back full circle back around to where I left the deck off, where it's like, keep it mono green, have 2 Vines of Vastwood main to keep your little elf dudes, or you know, the untap Arbor Elves, keep them safe early, maybe even be able to trade with aggro, and then keep your Ulamog Crusher safe late. There's a lot of benefits. No innocent blood. No nothing. Let's just hope he's got 3 lands. That Carrion Feeder is going to get out of control because 1 activation and he's out of Swirling Sandstorm range. It's amazing. You think of Pauper, you think 2 and under, but when you play something and you lean on something as hard as I do with Swirling Sandstorm, which we haven't seen yet, you quickly realize the format's bigger than you think. Okay. And we're at 5 already. We have lost. That will not do it. We will walk this one down too. Zombies. And there's a scenario. It's like, we've got the answer, just didn't draw it. Even with Adventurous Impulse and Cyclers, it's a tough road, folks. Didn't see many. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Let's bring in the Moment's Peace packages. Could get real cutesy with Macabre. I'm not going to do it though. I'm going to just really try to heavily lean on this. Sometimes I do miss the cycling here. I'll be able to fill up the yard a little bit there, but so far not so good. I did 5-0 with this about, I don't know, if it's about a year back. We'll go over that list too. It ran, what's the one that makes the 3/3 golems? It makes 2 of them. The Maul Splicer. And it was kind of, and then I had the Forest Walk guy, or Affinity for Forests. The problem was I can generate a lot of mana, but when you actually count the number of forests out, there weren't that many. And so a lot of times I was paying quite a bit for that card, and just like Gurmag Angler, anything can block it. So yeah, Maul Splicer. So should have went with a tried and true build that actually worked. I know on the If you go to MTG stats and go to my thing, it'll just say G50, and I think it's that list if anybody's curious or whatnot. But all right, we've got what we need. We got defense. We'll keep this. Now we just need some offense. And I believe that's an elf too, though, isn't it, JSeg? The Maul Splicer. All right. We'll lead off with the Tinderwall. It's a human artificer. Okay. All right. There's the culprit. And keep our dude safe. Let's we'll bring this out. Keep our blockers up. All right. When it dies. All right. Let's go get a mountain so we can turn off all luck procedures. We've got one in the yard. We've got more in the yard. Play this here. Could trip that. Yeah, interesting. You know what? I'm going to trip this here. I'm going to go use our empath. We're going to get Cycle Man. I want to block early enough and turn on our Sandstorm as quick as possible. And this is a good way to do it. Don't have a Crusher in hand. We'll be all right. I hate when I have to play Edge of Autumn, but the option is always there. Always keep in mind this comes into play tapped. On top of, you could, get 2 for 1 in a turn. But as we're seeing today, a lot of times you play it and you're like, oh, I really wish that came into play. Even though it's an extra land, it's still coming into play tap. So. All right, let's see what we have here. All right, boys. Let's do this and this. Edge of Autumn, one of my favorite card designs. Just love. I like the word. I like what it does. All kinds of good stuff. All right. Snogglesworth. Getting a lot of worth. We're not taking any damage. We've got 4 things in the yard. Soon to have a few more. We can still trip Edge of Autumn for what we need it to be. But if we cycle it, that's 2 more cards in our yard. And after the Tusker, that might be the play. So we can just do it. It's strange, too. You see sorcery, and then you have an instant ability inside the card. It's like, huh? It's pretty trippy. Well, that's why I like the second ability, Dreamer's Dingo, because you can always cycle it. Now, in a mono green shell, I probably wouldn't want to play it. But in this one, I really like it. I'm going to sit back and wait for our play on that. We've got a fog effect here. Kind of want him to get a little bit bigger, but we can't wait for that Carrion Feeder to get too big. Cool. I'll throw this out. Who knows, maybe they're running an Ice Quake or something. We'll call red. All right. So now you see if we do cycle it and blow up our own dude, that's 1, 2, 3 cards, and it's immediate threshold plus. Yeah. Speaking of Storm Boy, that new the new life gaining Storm card. Oh, maybe I should be running that over the Quiet Disrepair. I'm not sure. 2 a turn's pretty sweet. That's Moment's Peace just to build up a little apprehension and just like frustration where they go, oh yeah, well next turn I'm going to hit you extra hard, and then maybe they'll overextend here. Plus, we're only 1 away from threshold here. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Let's go like this. I think we'll pull the trigger now. especially since we just drew yet another land here. Let me tap the 2. We'll sacrifice a land. See what we draw. It's another land just to smack us in the face, right? Make sure we've got stuff. He might have, that would really suck if he had, you know what, Faerie Macabre. Sometimes you want to wait till you're about 10, and then you're out of range. Being a black aggressive deck, I could see him definitely running that game too. Will be the ultimate. See, now we're still going to take a bunch of damage, even with Swirling Sandstorm here, because you may put the counter on, but you don't have to. Yep, I think they could have let the, I think he could have survived. I guess it depends on which order you wanted to go with, huh? All right. At least we saw that go off, right? We don't have an elf out. Our mana's pretty good, so I'm not going to really dogpile onto one land just in case they've got some befoul or something to deal with a crusher or land and Tron and stuff like that. I could see that being a thing. Probably not a good thing, but never know. Never know till somebody tries it. All right. This is a good show lesson in staying focused. You got it. This deck is so mean and consistent when you keep it mono green. Probably a whole notch above what this one can be, but you know, you run into elves enough and you get tired of losing to it, and you're like, dang it, I'm gonna shove in a mountain and some of these and some of that, and we're gonna see what happens. 6, and just like that we hit a perfect thing, but we've already seen a guest's verdict. If he's got another one, this is pretty dead in the water here. That's true, Dreamer Stingo. That's a really nice point there. Of course, moving forward though, I'm going to probably be moving away from the worried about threshold realm and go back to maybe just one Edge of Autumn for a trick against capsize and such, or early fixing, and then leave it at that. All right. Does he got verdict? Does he got it? He does not. All right, we're going to get some value. We get a free Moment's Peace on our side of the board too. Hopefully, despite our bad outing today, we're learning a lot, and also hopefully some of you have considered using an offensive Moment's Peace. So if you had like an infect, not an infect guy, a death touch dude out right now, you can attack, wait for him to sack 2 things, and you Moment's Peace on your turn, and then they end up losing 4 permanents instead. So, all right. Well, I'm going to attack first here because I think they might keep their creature options open, and they might get rid of a lot of lands, and then I'll pick on the one that they don't. That one's gone. That one's gone. Interesting. Okay. I want to give them the option to kind of give me a free information there. It's a low enough curve. A bit happier when they get rid of creatures like that. All right, now we're edict proof. We're going to finally win one here. And we won the first one against Little Fight, but we haven't seen the W since then. Of course, that was last game, but a little hard on myself, but glad I haven't paid any ticks. Cool. Always like seeing this card. Early, medium, often. Now, that's a good scenario. Now, imagine if there was another Sprawl here. That's what I was talking about at the top of the show. Seems like, and it is, it's a dead draw. You paid 1, but you got rid of the next 3 crap draws. So I really feel like Adventurous Impulse is a good pull in this style of deck. Early, find your dudes, your elves, your lands. 2, 4, 6, 7. Dang it. And later on, you're good to go. Yeah, I'm just going to play aggro here. Oh, I was going to attack with everything for those curious. We'll put down a W. So there, Swirling Sandstorm helped out. I think we were probably dead without it. Who knows? Yeah, the Crusher might have made things interesting. We did have a Moment's Peace in the yard, so there is that. All right. We're just going to go on in. So we look into the, let me load up the first version of this I had was here. We have the Wirewood package, one Spider main, and then the Nisa's Pilgrimage to really eviscerate your forests from the equation there. But the frustrating thing about that is if you look at this, we've got a 14 land count, right? Let's count these as lands. So that's 18, 22, 23, 24, 25. So yeah, you're nixing lands, but then you're almost half your deck is still devoted to mana. It's one of the ratios I've been running up against and just having some issues with. I kind of like this hand. I don't really have any I mean, this is kind of flooded for this hand, but we're going to hit every drop. We've got a blocker. We'll keep and see what happens. All right. Can't squeeze much more ramp into a deck than this. Let's lead off with this. Never know, we might get the Utopia Sprawl or the Wild Growth. And we can really accelerate into that Crusher. Adventurous Impulse, kind of like the green Ponder. Feels pretty good. I considered both Winding Way and Lead the Stampede, leaning more towards which one puts it in the graveyard? I was thinking one had a superior flow to it compared to the other one. But all right, we're going to drop this dude. We'll untap here. The rest in your grave. Yeah, I think I was leaning more towards Lead the Stampede just because of the use of Ponder. I mean, Pulse of Murasa, but then also when I built this Threshold version, I was like, oh, maybe Winding Way is the way to go with that. But whenever you're in a dilemma like that, keep lowering the curve and your deck usually gets better. Shouldn't be that big of a surprise, but it continually just kind of have to keep reminding myself of that over the years. Just like I need to remind myself to trip this at the end of the turn. Even though we've got some aggro here, there's only 2 zombies in play, and I don't think he's going to want to sacrifice the other one. We do want our mountain in this game. We did not side it out. I'm going to bring this in. Hey, speak of the devil, there's that. Let's, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We almost got it. We'll have it next turn. Ugh. Well, I would have really liked to have drawn those just because it could really accelerate, but that's fine. We're not going to see those at the bottom, and at this stage of the game, I'm happy they're there. We're quite a ways from Threshold. Yeah, Vessel of Nascency. I thought about that one a lot too. In fact, I think I had a few of those present. Now, if you run Vessel of Nascency, there's that cool what's the mechanic where like Gary, where devotion to green, there's a 3/3 creature that can gain life equal to your devotion to green, and you start having permanents out like that, it can be a pretty good call over some of the other life gain options out there. And give you a nice beat stick too. Don't ever look past a 3/3. That's what got me kind of thinking about this deck again, is that new Mole that puts 3 in your yard. Maybe that with Sandstorm. I really doubt it though. Swirling Sandstorm's a nice tech surprise from the board. And I think I had a version where I had Mountain and 2 Sandstorms in the sideboard too. We're just gonna be yeah, I think so too, Dreamer Stingo. That Excavation Mole's it's a hell of a card. 3/3s, boy. You gotta have mad respect for those. They're nasty. There's 5. Here's 6. 6, and here comes 7 and 8. Boop. Are we even gonna live that long? I don't know. We really want an enchanted land with a Edge of Autumn here, because, man, we're going to be at like 4 this turn. Invasive Species, yeah, I've had some fun with that card too. That's one that returns. It's like the ground version of Skyfisher. Yeah, whenever I fit a 3/3 into a deck, especially like against mono black and stuff, you're like, wow, this is almost like impervious to a lot of the format. It's pretty crazy. Bonk, bonk, beautiful. And we lose again. But we lost to zombie activations. Very cool. Keeping it 6. Playing in the outs. Nice win there, Snogglesworth. All right. So I want to take a look. I've had enough of that. We've got some another ramp deck to look at. Same theme, different beast. We've got the Maul Splicer in this one. That's what we were talking about with the fetch ability. Nice against swarm decks and stuff like that. And so often you find yourself at 7 mana and not the aforementioned at 8. But still, I kind of want to find room for vines in this build. And with 14 lands, we've got this. I'm going to lose. I think I want to lose that and actually maybe that and go with vines. I used to love Nisa's Pilgrimage. I still do sometimes, but what ends up invariably happening is like you'll get so just crestfallen, like you spend all this mana and resources to go thin out your deck, and then you draw another land, and I'm just looking for there we go, 1, 2. So 2 Vastwoods. We're going to keep this safe early. We're going to keep this safe late. And look at this in our sideboard. We've got a mountain and 2 sandstorms. Maybe this will do a little bit better. We're calling this Big G. Yep. Big G in the house. Let's see how this does. Actually, before we do, I'm going to run to another commercial. We'll be back right after this.
Every day at Magic's game testing facility, crack geneticists are hard at work engineering new creatures to help you annihilate your opponent. Of course, mistakes do happen. Magic the Gathering. Beat your friends.
And we're back. All right, let's see. We've got the new build. See if this does any better. We shall see. Up against Levo 7. Yeah, that is really old. Portal, baby. Damn. Son hates when I play without sleeves because every once in a while I can tell an old card's coming up. Speaking of this deck, I've got it in paper in the Tinder wall. It's like, whoa, I know what I'm drawing next. Antiquities, the name of the game. Woo, okay. Knowing we don't have anything but green in the main deck here, we'll call green. Utopia Sprawl, you can play a lot of head games with people. Call purple. Get that 100-yard stare from your opponent, huh? So we've got Acid-Moss back. Having played without it, I really don't miss it all that much. Oh, up against some sort of reanimation issue here. This might be a big problem for this deck. I mean, we do have games 2 and 3. We do have what's the card? Faerie Macabre. How am I forgetting that? I wish we could discard, and that way we could use their own tricks against them. We're definitely going to have to kill that. All right, let's impulse. If nothing else happens, we'll claws. All right, any order? See how they just kind of gets rid of junk? Something about the card feels very organic to this list. We're going to cycle this. All right, we've got our Maul Splicer. We've got big fatties. Not much else to do. Woo! What are we up against? Rakdos. All right, here we go. They changed the rules from name and X to Walrus Laboratory. I'm not quite sure I get it, Dreamer Stingo, but I'm sure the rest of chat does. Ouch! Damn. Crusher showing up, doing work for us. We're scooping here. Whoop, that's how you do it. Artifact. That's the intoxicating thing about Rakdos Reanimator. Sometimes it just works. We got options. We'll bring that in. I'm going to leave these out. And other than that, probably get rid of this. I'll get rid of Maul Splicer. You might have some flying things here. I do want to be able to find our Macabre, so I'm going to keep these 3 of these in. We'll just rock like this. You said purple for the Utopia Sprawl? oh, I see. Yeah, I was just making a joke. I didn't even know that was a MTGO lead in there, but thank you for enlightening me there. Had no idea. I just say stuff like that to frustrate my kid because he's a little too uptight when he plays. He's such a perfect rules guru. So sometimes, you know, he'll be like, Dad, you have to name a color. And I'm like, chartreuse. All right. Let's go. Mulligan. All right. We've got defense. We'll keep. We don't have much else, though. I have to admit, I like seeing this. One of the only things I've probably taught Little Fight over the years is, what do you feel like when you see the card? If you don't like it, get it out of your deck. Well, Vastwood passes the like test. It's never dead. Our mana's online. We've got cycling. I'm going to go like this. Sometimes, you know, it's like, you're supposed to put that in there, and I see it, and I'm like, you know what? I want this card. And then I play better because I'm into it. It's not showing today, is it? I'll be here all week, folks. All right. Wow, our mana is showing up. We are going up against... What am I trying to say? We are going up against Land Destruction colors, so I'm going to diversify here since we don't have an elf out. I'll just call this... I could play pretty careless here. We'll show them that we've got anti-flying tech to make them scared. There comes our big fatty. We can cycle that in response, lose the Macabre, or we can use the Macabre and just put it into play if he's got the combo here. But yeah, there's nothing like, hey, look what we're playing. Putrid Imp in the house. Okay, make sure not to hit yield here. All right, Stinky showing up. Well, he's got it all. If he's got the goods here, let's see what we got. Boy, this guy he's probably feeling on top of the world. We ain't gonna let that go down. We'll take this and this, zoink, and we'll get our flyer out of the deal. Thank you very little. How did we do it, folks? We played a Macabre with a mono green list. Woohoo! Yep. So one clobbering answers to another. There'll be a little bit more. Now we've seen some flyers. Come on. Who am I kidding? Get rid of that. You know what? I'm going to put back the Maul Splicer. If for some reason this ends up in our yard and we're able to bring it back, that's a lot of triggers for the Crusher since we're in just this crushing back and forth war here. Not sure Vines of Vastwood's really going to do too much in this build. You know what? They might have Terminate and stuff like that. Let us... the purist in me, I think what my problem is when building a ramp deck is I want to get rid of all those forests, so I'm just drawing quality. And for every time that works, there's like 70 times you're just like, okay, I just got rid of 3 or 4 lands, and you draw a land, and you're just like, come on. So I think, you know, your opening hand, as long as you got 2, 1 gets you 2, 2 gets you 3, 3 gets you all this, and then you start building, you're good to go. Sad trombone. Trombone. Wah, wah, wah. All right. We'll have one more after this, and we've got our defense up. We've got everything. This is a great hand. We'll keep this. I'm a bit too much of an absolutist where I'll build something. I'm like, hey, 2 of these is good. Let's try 3. Now let's try 19 of them. Let's get crazy redundancy. And sometimes that leads to the next thing or something very cool. But more often than not, kind of leads you back to just, hey, chill out. It's still fundamentally turning cards sideways and attacking. Can't get too cutesy. All right, let's lead off with this. The no-brainer. You want to play the elf before the sprawl. If they don't have issues, you can usually get a turn 2 Acid-Moss that way. Opponent had a brilliant blazing 2 games. We had the answer the second one. Let's see. We've got double answer now. This is getting ugly quick for our opponent. We'll call green. I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. Play 4 here. We're going to cycle the Tusker. Come on. And with that 1 left over, that was another thing I was running into when I play this list before I had Adventurous Impulse. A lot of times I'd have 1 mana left over. I'm like, man, I need something to do with that. You're never without a home, thanks to the Adventurous Impulse. There's our boy. All right, let's see if we can either get rid of stuff or get good stuff. Hey, look at that. Look what we got. Make us discard, please. Any order. We played? Yes, we have. Okay. Rakdos. And similar to last week, we've got the Bro Logic team outside lifting their heavyweights. That's not me playing music. If you hear it very distantly, it's not my kind of music either. Tell you what, I've really become a fan of. It's nothing new. I think it's the Assassin's Creed #2 soundtrack on YouTube. That's some good brewing music there. No lyrics, just kind of nice cerebral tunes. There you are, hurting for black mana. Hopefully we keep him off of it. Vine shows up. All right, let's go get back Tusker Man. Gain 6 life. We'll cycle it, get some more stuff. Let's keep building up our board here. I love how sneaky Macabre is. Just we're totally tapped out. Look completely naked, and we've got double answers here. They could swamp Dark Ritual, double Exhume, and we've got the answers. And even if we don't, we got a 6/5 Tusker right behind it, folks. He's digging, or she. All right, 1 more after this. And we've got, let's see, I'm going to cross off what I've played here. It is getting to be close to summertime, so we've got the old surfboard shot coming up. Last but not least. Actually, I think it is least. All right. Hey, we won 1. Woo! All righty. Let's just jump in here. Create. Boop. Go from here. It's frustrating with Crusher styles. You know, you get that all-in mentality, and boy, there's just a few trump cards. If they've got them, it's over, baby. All right. We like this a lot. I think the mana gods are really favoring this build over the first one. We'll keep this. So in chat, what do you guys think about even having a Mountain and Sandstorm access games 2 and 3 in the sideboard? I think one of my older builds leaned on Moment's Peace and Spore Frog just to completely keep that, you know, that game alive. It's a fat chance even then, but you can get the Spore Frog lock going on. That's a thing. All the kids are talking about it, I tell you. Yeah, this is true, Snugglesworth. I mean, it worked 1 game against you, but here's another matchup. I think I've played Affinity all of 1 time in all the years we've played. It's just a deck. It just doesn't like me. I could play a deck that's a 5/0, and I think we saw that on the stream. Look at this. We've got the turn 2 kill, but we can't do anything with it. But yeah, I just had those notorious. It's like, well, this hand isn't working. Sort of draws. All right, let's bring this out. I'm gonna drop this first. Yeah, let's grab the Empath. We need a way out of this. Any order. And okay. I know it might be better to just play actual Sandstorm. 1 green, 1 damage to every attacker. Might surprise Delver. Get rid of the swarms of elves. Funny, that used to be a staple, and then Infect went away, and it went away, and it's like, well, it killed a lot of other stuff too. Well, Empty the Warrens, obviously. To be fair to that last comment, you get rid of Empty the Warrens and Infect, and yeah, it's a lot less reasons to play it. But with all the fairies flying about, 1 green's a pretty good price. All right, we're getting close to some crushing math here. Let's see if we can pull this off. We're gonna try to shut down that furnace before things get out of hand. We don't even need to search anymore. Let's yeah, we gotta kind of slow roll this a bit. God, I wish that came into play untapped. I'm just gonna attack here. That's 2, 4, 6, 7. If we get another mana, we're in Crusher Town. Yeah, between the Mold Shambler and Mwonvuli Acid-Moss, you get an interesting. It feels sometimes like you have land destruction, and you do. Sometimes people think like, oh, I'm playing a land destruction deck. It's like, no. This all has a purpose. Mold can kill anything, and the Mwonvuli Acid-Moss, probably the 100th time I've said that incorrectly, acts as ramp, accelerates, can really shut off games too, but not really missing it. Most decks seem to recover from just spot removal like that, but sometimes it really does matter. You get that one mana staring you down, you can get rid of it. You won't take me to, to crush a town. Dun dun dun. Ah, damn it. All right. Well, let's double check. That's 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, we don't got it. So let's, I mean, we can make sure we get it. We're going to need some blockers here. Let's rock like this. I've already got the crusher in hand. Let's grab this. And we'll do, I did that, 2 to 4. Nah. I'll just cycle this. We might get another Adventurous Impulse here. Or a 1 mana enchantment. Let's grab a land. Say okay. Hey, there it is. Cool. See, sometimes you get lucky. Now I can put that on that and cycle it. That's pretty cool. But it still makes more sense to do this. And we'll just sit back with a blocker here. It's pretty obvious what we're on. I mean, we went and searched for a creature that wasn't Crusher, so they probably know we have it. So silence, you'll get us demonetized. Yeah, it's funny how few cards tend to do that too, but you know, I think I dusted this deck off in all fairness, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty decent. You know, it's not anything I'd take to a tournament, but it's a shell. It's a good place to start with something, and that's kind of how I attacked it. And then I ran into Elves like, I don't know, 2 out of 5 times, and I'm like, son of a, you know what? I'm gonna throw in a mountain and some sandstorms and call it a day. And it's like, nope, not good enough, sir. Well, let's just go for it. We've got 6 here. I don't think they have Galvanic Blast, or if they do, they're saving it. So we're going to rock like this and attack here. He might just be able to kill us with a fling or some sort of shenanigans. We shall see. But if you're a big UFC fan, don't forget the prelims start at 3 Eastern here in the States anyway. And just the prelims, everybody's so thirsty for like a live event. It's going to be weird with no crowds. I know they already had one like that. But the prelims are free if you have a cable TV or have access to ESPN. And they are almost main event worthy. There's some amazing stuff there. White mana. Usually people only run 1 Ancient Den if math memory serves. We're not going to be able to see any of this stuff, so we're going to cycle this and really make them do a head scratcher. Shambler shows up. Good times. Ooh, this is getting pretty weighty here, isn't it? Let's do this first and turn off some sort of mana access. We'll kick this, blowing up this. I'll take away his other land too. You know what? I think I'm going to attack first. He's probably got a Galvanic Blast here. He's going to lose the Forger and that. And because we just blew up a land, he's likely to get rid of other stuff. So I'm going to attack here instead. Actually, I'm going to attack with both of these. If he blocks one, I'm fine with that. Might be able to sneak in one extra damage here, because if he kills that, we can Murasa it back and get back another Crusher. Does ESPN ever live link their shows on YouTube? I'm not sure. Remember, I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm quite the technotard. As you know, my friend. I don't have to tell you that. I think you'd labeled me that. Like, how can you be a wizard at these other things and so dense with all this other stuff? Hey, that's how I roll. All right. That's why you love me, baby. Woo! Speaking cross-continental. Bam, we're giving it to Affinity so far. Hey, let us sneak in 8 there. That's good times. I could have played the other Arbor Elf, but man, we've got so much mana. It's just, I don't know. It's like using a volcano to start a little evening fire in your fireplace. This guy is dead. Oh, don't jinx me, Cash Override. Nims is not in the house. We are not safe without him. Come on now. What do we got? Black mana, eh? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It ain't over, baby. Good news is we got Pulse of Murasa for that little screw up your math move. Ways are going to take it. Or, you know, I could block that, get it back with Murasa, blow up something. I'm going to do that. We want this to die. Thank you very little. Booyah. Instead of taking 4, we'll gain 6, and we'll blow up another one of your lands. How you like them apples? No, no, no. All right. Boom, boom. Boom. Let's rock this. Booyah. Taking out the Vault of Whispers. Probably should have done that second. And you can... I doubt he's going to build up the Atog to such a level that we're going to do that. We're just trying to eat the food here. Eat the food. Here I go again. Now our mana is such that we can block with Arbor Elf. If there's anything left to block after this. This is where people forget Carapace Forger's text. Doink, he's a 2-2. He's a wee little lad. That's interesting. What? Maybe they're having some merit lager. Richard Import. Gin and tonic. How many more are there? There's probably an indefinite amount. All right. I've been wanting to see this. This is all theory so far. We bring in the Shaman. We bring in the Marauder. We bring in the Mountain. And we bring in the Sandstorms. Now watch the deck just crashes and burns. We need to keep the Edge of Autumn because of the synergy of that. Vastwood we're going to get rid of in affinity matchups here. We're going to get rid of the Claws. I think we're good to go. You know what? I'm going to get rid of a Wirewood. Bring in a Moment's Peace. Let me get rid of these 2 more Moment's Peace. Let's go. All right, we beat Rakdos, and now we're up against Affinity with a win. It's a light at the end of the tunnel. We're winning. First 2 rounds were rough. Since then, feeling pretty good. Apparently not. Could have been true with... I don't want to go too all in on the life train. Keep in mind, we run 4 Pulse of Murasa. And, all right, we got early blockers. We've got everything outside of a fling math here, so we'll keep this. Now we got to call red. Well, we do have the Elder. We can probably just still call green and go get a Mountain, but it's always nice to have 2 outs. In a format this wide and vast, you've got to be careful. We'll play the disgusting white-bordered Wild Growth. Oh, if that's a 1-for-1 though, Dreamer Stingo, I wouldn't want to do that. Land destruction happens, cool. It's just there to just kind of add that little, toe trip, like when somebody's going full sprint. I'm not gonna have any delusions. You can go all in with the land destruction train, and that's usually when your opponent gets flooded. We've all seen it. It gets very tiring. We'll call red. Did I say red? Yeah. All right, red. We'll make sure to use red mana for this dude. We'll bring him out. Zoink. And next turn, I'll probably put the Sprawl here. 3-on-1. Never know. They might have something. We'll see. But again, if we get Edge of Autumn, that's 5 cards that go in the yard, including Autumn. And then the Snake's going to be there. So, we have Threshold almost next turn out of nothing. That's why it's so tempting to run more Edge of Autumns. Early it's good. Late it's good. Not good against this. It's a 5/6. Yet again, spitting in my creative face with Threshold. It's like, it doesn't even kill that. Now, do I keep this around? I do not. I'm going all in, baby. Woo! Got a nice blocker there, but we can Pulse of Murasa it back and get 8 for 1. And our neighbor is playing very loud country music. That's horrifically irritating. Misplayed a little bit there. I should have called green on that and got away from me a little bit there, but we're all right. It's not like we can do it this turn anyway, so never mind. It wasn't a misplay. Haha. Yeah, it was. We'll rock like this. I'm going to play this dude out just so we got a nice blocker. Now, whatever we draw, we're good to go. Our mana's all right. Yes, it is. It is. In fact, my son had a good idea. We found a bunch of white-bordered stuff that we didn't want anymore. And once I get my high-def camera up and running and find a good background to shoot it on, because I'm not just going to show some boring background, I'm going to slowly just torture them over a candle's flame, and it'll just be a whole bathroom break. Maybe what I ought to do is get the audio. Let me write this down from some trial, from some famous trial, and we'll play it like they're on trial, and then I'll just slowly, you'll hear the gavel hit, and it'll be guilty, and then you'll just see one of them go up in flames. My chicken scratch mixed with a little bit of dyslexia. Nobody's going to decipher that. FBI could find that and be like, what the hell was that for? What did he mean by that? It's all these weird symbols. Stuff doesn't make any sense, I tell you. Wish they would reprint Beta or Ice Age Wild Growth. Yes. Yeah, I think I have mine from Fallen Empires. I think they have a black bordered one in real life, and that was cool. Yeah, unless you go the shiny foil one, which is even worse. God, I hope they don't print a white bordered foil. Please tell me that's not a thing. Didn't they come after white bordered? Shows you how lame white borders are. Everybody thinks I'm out of it for always talking about that. It's like, man, you gotta. I just don't want to go too all in on that. They haven't printed white bordered since. We'll call green. We'll attack. Why not? We've got options here. Woo! We're at 26 life. We're feeling all right. Yeah, I think one of my old PCs, when I first got into MTGO, I had a crash because of a foil. Like, this guy was playing an all-foil deck, and the animations were I had a really old PC when I first got into it, and that's, I think, initially what made me dislike him. But then it was also like, it's just another distraction, which is another reason I don't really favor Arena. So many bells and whistles. The game's hard enough. I don't need a movie trailer playing out every time a card drops with its own special, like, everything behind that. All right. I'm going to build up Threshold here and build up Frustration. We're at 26. I'm going to keep a really healthy life here and just play that. Because, again, I want him to go, oh, yeah, well, when I do hit you, I want it to matter instead of just for 5. So I want him to overboard, and then we might be able to, or that. Yeah, we'll take it. I'll just leave that in the yard. It's like F7, yeah. I think it was F6, wasn't it? The one where you just yield the whole turn. I've turned that off for so many years now. I have just a pretty much when you click OK, I have that hotkeyed above my tab, the little tilde sign. Seems to be the best place for it. All right, well, we do have this, but unfortunately, I don't even really want to trip it here. Call me crazy. I'm not even going to get Threshold here. I'm just going to trip this now and cycle this for another creature. That's fine. It pays for itself. We still kind of get Threshold there. I'll attack. We've got a blocker. We're still at 21 life. Alrighty. So a bit of a 50-50 on the whole green ramp experiment today. Started bad, ended strong. Up a game against a damn good deck in Affinity. But we're one fling away from this. At least we saved some 4 damage there. All right, I'll grab this. All right. You know what? Let me I take it. You know, if he's got flinging stuff with a tog behind it, 5 life's not going to matter. It's not about how you start anyway. Well, shows like today, sometimes when I'm playing some pretty mean decks the last week, so this week, go back to Rogue. Rinse, repeat. Never see me play 2. Usually won't see me play 2 really mean decks back to back in a week. So, hey, all right, we've got things. There's 4, 5. Oh, we might as well just keep our blocker open, right? Drop the Crusher. Maybe he's holding off on 2 other Galvanic Blasts. I'm not sure. 1 damage is not worth attacking. I'd rather keep up the secret of what's in our hand. So Senka, first time I've heard you chat. Thank you, my friend. Good to hear your voice, if only digitally. Thank you for joining us. Here comes the compass. Gaining 3 more life. We're up against it, folks. Round in the corner. What's it going to be? We are not going to block the Gear Seeker, that's for sure. Oh, good. Never been so happy to see somebody hellbent. I was like, if he's got fling, this is just over. So here is a scenario where we're probably going to offensively use Moment's Peace. And I'm going to be so happy because I was talking about this like 3 matches ago. And we're rounding out the last match and we get to see what we can see. All right, first things first, I'm going to Impulse. This might determine what we want to do. Hey, Gorilla Shaman shows up. Isn't that nice? Any order? Oh boy. This is interesting stuff. Man, oh man. Let's have some fun. This is ultra mean. I mean, absolute craziness. We'll keep a Moment's Peace math back. Start eating things. I'm going to offensively trip this, so we're going to... Booyah. This is good. Okay. I'm not going to yield to that. On second thought. Start getting rid of red and blues and greens and everything in between. And then instant speed will Moment's Peace. Pay for it. Trip the Shaman again. Start eating stuff. I wanted to attack first. Different scenarios. Same end result. This is disgusting, though. We're really getting rid of any... not any. We're getting rid of more of the potential for him to just go supernova and be able to fling our head because we're eating up all his fuel on our turn. He's probably like, idiot, he's got to attack with Crusher. Yes, we do. And then you have to lose 2 more things. But we're going to get rid of the things we want to get rid of now. Boy, what a combo. This is just... It's like, hey, who want to play 9 Stone Rains in return? Go for it. We don't have anything else, folks. So... you know what? Let me do this. a moment's peace now. Hold on. How much to kill this? 3? 1, 2, 3, and then we'd still have 2. Let's do that. We'll do this. Cutting off a little way out, maybe. Now I'll main phase moment's peace here. But we can still attack, and the Crusher ability still happens. Uh-oh. Digging for something. There's no Sprigleaf drums out, though, so I don't know what he could do here. Can always block with Shaman. And we crush. Hey, alright. So what was going to happen if you're new to this is he'd still have to lose 2 things, and then we don't lose the Crusher battle here. And we could chump block pretty outside of the fling damage there. So we end strong. Hey, what was that? Yeah, so this build seems to be the one I'll probably post online in the description here. I'm not quite sure we really even need to go the Sandstorm route. I'll leave that up to you all. Had some really nice dividends there. Fangren Marauder can really keep you alive too against Tron and such when they start tripping things, and you might want to give it a try. It's a good starting point. Again, I wouldn't really take this. We've got this build anyway, has a main deck Penumbra Spiders, and just like the other one, all 4 Wirewood, which can really catch Boros off guard. A lot of decks, but like I said, Delver's not one of them. They're usually going to have counterspells in their hand. That's why I would be very tempted to go back with the Scattershot Archer plan and just, you know what, I'm gonna let swarms happen, and hopefully I can fog through it and smash. But anyway, that was a brutal reversal. Yes, well, it's a nice way to end strong here, folks. Anyway, I see you next time. The first UFC event of the year, or not the year, but almost, will be over, and hopefully everybody's staying healthy and happy out there. If you got any commercial ideas, cool skits, funny pictures that are MTG related, like the top of the show, that little forest walk motif, send them at pauperganda@gmail.com. And thank you to Snogglesworth. 2 weeks in a row we face off against each other. But thank you for joining me. As always, spread the love of Pauper worldwide. Support each other. Don't be all, it's about me and ego and all that stuff. Just, hey, you know, you see somebody, give them some props, and keep the format blooming. Anyway, y'all, we'll see you next time for Pauperganda. This is Deluxe. I'll see you next week. Adios.